feeling never really goes. And you won't find love at the bottom of a classic home.
Hey, yo, Mo, I'm with this.
Peace. This is your boy Juice Wonder with another episode of Smoke and Jokes, where we discuss today's topics while indulging in the greatest of herbal essences. Today's show is brought to you by Apple Gumbo. Yes, Apple Gumbo. I think you want to go grab a spoon. All right. Well, today I want to talk to you about ciphers. You see, in Freemasonry, in order for the Freemasons to have conversations amongst each other without regular people knowing, they needed to devise a way to talk where it's right in front of you and you wouldn't know what it is. So in ciphers, it's very elaborate. Now, me, myself, I'm not going to take this time to teach you how to do this because I do not encourage this. I don't have a problem with actually the cipher part, to be honest with you, but the cipher part leads to how to implant things right in front of people and them not knowing. So this is actually teaching deception. It's not just how to keep a secret, but how to install these things inside of your surroundings, meaning that it could be inside drawings, it can be inside music. And I'm gonna give examples of these things, but first, the mind has to be geared towards learning this. As you go through the ranks of Freemasonry, you get more elaborate on the communication skills, because not only are they keeping secrets from people who are not Freemasons, but they also got to keep it within the ranks of Freemasonry. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're a Master Mason, you won't be able to infiltrate the Royal Arch Degree or Knights Templars or any of these other groups because you haven't gained that knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? So with this right here is how they communicate and learn how to start implementing these things into their daily activities. And like as you watching TV, listening to music, and these are how they get paid, by being able to implement these things into the world around you. So by the time the next generation comes along, they're taught that these are already here. So you got Masonic dates. And so with Masonic dates, they put it on buildings and you'll notice that the numbers are off. So these are the things that they're putting in place. So when it's time for the switch, it'll already be there. You know what I'm saying? These things are already there. So the next generation will be under the impression that it was there for this amount of time. You understand what I mean? And if not, I can't really do nothing for you. I can't really explain to you how the deception is taking place if the things that I'm giving you, you can't grasp. Everything is being put in place now, so the lie can be placed into the future. You see, you set the lie now, you put it there, like you put a seed there. And then you let it grow. So now whenever they choose to say that, oh, no, this has been here for X amount of time, the information that they're going to point to you is there. And it's written in stone. So how are you going to argue it if you don't know? You understand what I'm saying? So, this is the game that's being played on our people, the great deception. So let me get into these ciphers. Now, in order to decipher a cipher, one needs a key. Just like when you look into the legal books and they got that little key up on top because that key can, set you free. Well, this is the same thing. It's because you can't just walk into a court system and just talk as secret jargons, old Latin phrases and all of this stuff that you need to go inside there. So you need that key. You need that case file that you can cite inside court. You know what I'm saying? You gotta shepherdize it to see if it's been mandated, or it's a whole bunch of things what you gotta go through in order to fight a legal case. So you would need these keys in order to free that. So it's the same thing when you're dealing with a cipher. You need the key in order to decipher it. Meaning that, say if we're using all the numbers but one. Now the number that's usually being taken out is J, but that doesn't limit it to that. The reason why they take J out is because of Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that doesn't mean that it stayed here. You know what I'm saying? Now that's, with them dealing probably as a group, but individually they can take that same thing and exit out Q, T. Now the person on the other side who's receiving it is the one who needs to know what was taken out and how to use it. That's just on certain ciphers, because there's many different ciphers. As you go through this, the pictures that I'll be posting, you'll see that there's many different kinds. You can use letterings and shapes. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you have to use the pig pen. That's like one of the first that you learn when you get into Freemasonry, where you just take like a tic-tac-toe shape, and then you redesign that in order for you to turn those into letters, meaning that you might take a piece of it and that'd be an A, like that top box, that'd be the A, then B, then C, and so forth and so on. So with that being said, is how, you first indoctrinated, then they, use letterings and all of that. Now there's people who are skilled in this. And so those people will learn how to implement these things into the things that you see, because their whole thing is to say they're worshiping, their God. So when you seen Hova yelling out Hova, and you see everybody thinking that they're throwing up the Rockefeller sign, that's not Rockefeller. That's the Masonic symbol. That's the same symbol you see with the Rastafaris, with Haile Selassie. You just see this, like this symbol is implemented inside our coaching. If you look at any of these people, you would see that, they had connections to Freemasonry. So when you understand these things and you understand what is being put on you, you're not being put in a spell. You were being attacked from all angles, just like Hiram. You understand? Hiram was beat in the head for they say to get the information. What in reality is they was attacking him on three sides to bombard him with this for him to accept that as the way. If you understand, you're not being under a spell. There's no spell. You're being led by the people around you to mislead you into this direction for whatever they're doing it for. Because they'll tell you that the grand thing is about Jesus and how the Bible is fake. And you'll notice this through all of these communities, especially the quote unquote woke community. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's their job. Their job is to gear you towards one way, as if the other way was bad, but this way is good. Meaning that, Christianity is bad, but worship, fake Islam, or worship, Wiccans and all of these different groups are put out there in an attack on Christianity, which I'm not a Christian, so I'm not here defending Christianity or Islam, because both of them are actually under attack. But we see the Christian attack more due to the fact that this is a Christian nation. So when you listen in to the radio or you looking at TV, you'll notice that it's an attack on Christianity, but it doesn't limit it to Christianity. You know, the Freemasonry is not limited to a religion. It's attacking all structured religions to bring forth their religion. You know what I'm saying? So they'll go into all of these different ways of life and attack that to build theirs. That's just how it works. But you know, when you look at these ciphers, you'll notice that there's, like I said, you can see many different books on this. If you want to learn how to do ciphers, all you got to simply do is go on YouTube and type in Freemasonic ciphers. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, you got the magic square and all of these different things, and there'll be shows on them if that's what you choose to want to learn. But that's not the epitome of Freemasonry, and that's not even the epitome of learning the ciphers. The ciphers is just a way to train the mind to either spot it, you know what I'm saying, or to start implement it themselves. You know, like either you'll be looking at something, you go, oh yeah, there you go. They go the brothers work right there. Or you'll learn how to do these things yourself, because you'll learn how to use letterings, you know, like whereas you can write a sentence, but that sentence is actually a whole different conversation because of the letter placements, meaning that you could be the first letter of every word in the sentence is actually a whole different conversation. You understand what I'm saying? So these are skilled and crafty people who pull this off. You know, so, you know, and inside drawings, you'll see it. It'll be a picture, you know, like how they always use Walt Disney. They always say, oh yeah, Walt Disney films, you know, they had the perversion in it. Yeah, but, you know, and then you got to work hard to see it. But in actuality, it's there. It's subliminal, you know, so it attacks your psyche. And then when you got the bombardment of, you know, inside your ear, you know, people talking to you, the music or whatever, you become into that. So that's not really a trance. That's, you know, well, I guess you could say it's a trance, but, you know, but I don't know what, you know, I don't think we're saying it under the same pretenses. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no spell being put on you. It's a group effort. It's a script and a dialogue that bombards you. Next thing you know, you like, wow, you're interested. It's like to promote without promoting, you know, and that's for the big dogs. The small dogs, they go out with this newfound information because they don't really know that they're being pulled in. So majority of the time, you're being initiated by new initiates who don't even know they've been initiated. It's crazy. But, yeah, so when you look at these ciphers, you know, learn to understand what you're looking at. You know, like I said, I personally am not going to sit down here and do a show teaching you how to do these things. Like if you notice any of my videos, I don't really sit down. I'll tell you how to, you know, what it is, but I won't tell you how to do it. That's for you to learn. It's not for me. I'm not promoting this. And I know that, you know, it's like, it's an oxymoron. Well, if you're exposing it, well, why you ain't telling? Well, I'm telling you what it is so you're aware. You can simply go and research this part yourself. I don't want to be responsible for those who choose to go in that way. That's not what I'm here for. And that's why it's, you know, Freemasonry is a parasitic situation, whereas it attaches itself to so much. And once you try to address that, then you're opening the door for them to fix that error. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so say if they tell you something exists, now you're like, nah, that's not true. Now they can go back to the lab and try to make that true. You understand what I'm saying? There'll be a whole campaign on trying to make what you challenge true. So like I said, take the time and look up, ciphers. This is not going to really be a long show because, I'm going to really get into more things that you can actually see. I don't think a lot of people will be able to see this because ciphers is not really for the outside world, meaning that me teaching you this is really because it goes so many different ways. You got an East Side chapter in the West, meaning like California and New York books, and so there's things that you would always be out of the loop if you're not really in it. So if you're not really a Freemason, this will help you as far as communicating amongst each other and learning that there are many different ways that one can communicate. That's what this show is actually about. Just teaching you that, yes, there are many different ways in which to communicate. You know what I'm saying? And this is their ways of communicating. So then when we think about lyrics, right, let's think about Nas's lyrics. When he says, I think it was Lauryn Hill who actually sung it, but it's on Nas's album. Okay, the hook says, if I ruled the world, imagine that. I'd free all my sons. Love them, baby. Black diamonds and pearls, could it be? If you could be mine, we both shine. If I ruled the world. Still living for today in these last days and times. Right? Now, you would see that, and like I said, it would naturally flow over your head. You wouldn't even pay attention to it. But if you looked, you would really notice he says, I'd free my sons. Right? Freemason. I'd be a Freemason. If I ruled the world, wouldn't I be a Freemason? But it also says free my son. Who's Ma? You see, if you know anything, you would know that Hiram Abiff is the widow's son. That's the run-on theme, being the widow's son. Being fatherless, should I say. Jesus, he took on, Mary took on a new husband. Joseph isn't Jesus' father. He just played the role. You understand what I'm saying? And through history, that's been the thing. The theme is, you could raise a nation to be whatever you want if you kill off its men. I hope this was informative and you got something from it. I mean, not necessarily from the cipher thing. I'm just putting that out there because it's a part of this. And if you really want to understand Freemasonry, I can't really not leave things out. You understand what I'm saying? I got to kind of put it all in context. So when I get into this, because this is just a stepping stone, once you understand this, everything that's after this, you will truly understand. Because this right here, these are the parts that you need in order for you to understand what's in front of you. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you watching TV, when you're listening to the radio, when you out and about on the streets and people are presenting things to you, this is the thing that you need to understand to combat that. To combat whatever they're trying to push on you to make this new world. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to say peace one more time. It's your boy Juice Warner. This is Smoking Jokes. We out.